It's Timothy Hyde here from expertmc.com with another of our short training educational videos designed to make you a better MC and to help you grow your MC business. And in this episode, we're going to be looking at the highly popular speed networking activity, which takes place at business events and conferences all over the world. I'm going to show you how to run one, how to avoid some of the pitfalls. As always, there's more information on our website, expertmc.com. But let's get into it. You know, people go to large business events and conferences mainly to network. They want to form relationships, make connections, share opportunities, obtain leads, and of course, promote their own brand. And speed networking can do exactly that. It's often run as an event within an event, though sometimes it will be just a speed networking session. I'm going to show you how to run one, and then right at the end, I'm going to show you how to really use that particular session to strengthen the whole event itself. So 4 stages. You need to be able to set it up to enthuse people about it. Secondly, some tips on running it. Thirdly, how to close it down, and it's trickier than it sounds. And fourthly, how to plant those seeds to really strengthen the whole event. There are, of course, many different ways to run a speed networking session. There's different frameworks. I'm talking about a fairly free-form approach, which can be done anywhere. It doesn't matter if your people are sitting at tables of 10 or in theatre style or even moving the whole group into an empty room. This will work. The other approaches are all valid and very interesting, and you should probably spend some time looking at them. There's the structured approach based on the old speed dating, where half the group is sitting at a ring of tables and the other half move around chatting to each of them. That's very structured. That can work. There's also some computer software that you can get that people enter a few details and then you match people up, and they have pre-assigned meetings. There's also a few companies who do business to business speed networking where they're matching up suppliers and clients, and that needs to be controlled. I've done some work for several of those companies, both here in Australia and up in Asia. Also fascinating and interesting to find out about. But this is a do anywhere approach that you can do it at any time. And one of the great things about speed networking is it provides a framework that allows everybody to get involved. Even if you're a shy, introverted person, the framework that you present and enthuse the crowd about will even get them involved, because they know that they now have the freedom or the permission to go and chat to anybody, and most people will get into it. And also for those shy or introverted people who don't like chatting to people, it provides a close. They know it's only going to be 2 or 3 minutes and then that conversation finishes. They're not going to be there for an hour, say over lunch, unable to move away from that person. The structure of the networking allows everybody to kind of fully get into it. And that's a very important point. So how do we run one? Let's get into that. You know, if at all possible, I try and promote the speed networking session as early as possible. Even if it's coming up later in the day, I say, get your business cards ready. Maybe think about your elevator speech or your pitch, your 30-second pitch about what you do and what you're working on. And this will get them kind of set up and start thinking about what they're going to say, so they get the most benefit out of the session. I also like to enthuse them. I say things like, at past conferences, this has been the most highly rated activity. We get lots of great feedback about the event. People make great connections. I sometimes say words to the effect of, you know, at an event like this, it's not just the presenters and the workshops that you attend. The person sitting next to you or the person you're going to meet in the next 20 minutes might be the most valuable thing you get out of this event. So these things will get them enthused and make them more ready to get right into it. So how do I introduce the session? I'd say something to this effect. Ladies and gentlemen, in a few moments we're going to start our speed networking session, or our famous speed networking session. I will be asking you in a moment to stand up, to turn around and to introduce yourself to somebody you do not know. You will have about 1 minute to do this. Tell them who you are, where you work, what you're working on, and maybe what your big challenge is at the moment, who you'd like to meet at this event, why did you come to this event, or perhaps explain your ideal client. and then give them a chance to talk. So it's talk and listen, listen and talk. At the end of those 2 minutes, I'm going to ring the bell, and that is your cue to finish up the conversation, turn around and talk to somebody else. We've got about 20 minutes for this session. I'll explain how long you're going to approximately run the session for. So now we have the session running. We've got a room full of people all chatting away. There's lots of noise, lots of excitement. Here's a few tips on what to do during the speed networking session. Now, firstly, I told them that they had 1 minute each, e.g. 2 minutes. I told a lie. I give them a bit longer than that. I keep an eye on my watch or my timer, but I normally give them at the start of the session a bit longer, maybe 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes, even 4 minutes if you've got lots of time, just to really set up the conversations. But then as the session progresses, I start shortening the time. This will add the energy in the room, and it'll start building up that pace, and I think that is a great thing to do. I do my timing on my iPhone or the iPad. I just set the timer function on that. 3 minutes, bang, off it goes, vibrates at the end of the time. So when it finishes, I look around and see, yep, we'll finish it off. I always carry a bell with me, quite a noisy bell, and I know it's a bit of a pain to carry something else to your events, but I think that works better, and the visual of it gets their attention. And as I say, I like to speed it up. Now, it is very, very noisy. You'll be surprised the first time you run one. So you need to be on top of the sound. I always talk to the sound guy, if you're lucky enough to have one, and ask him to ride the sound up a little bit as we go into the session. You'll need it louder than if you're just talking at the lectern. So pump up the volume a little bit. And also, I always use a handheld for that session rather than using a lapel mic or using a lectern mic. You'll find much better control of the dynamics of the sound. Reinforce as you go through what they're doing. You know, tell them your big challenge or what you're working on or who you'd like to meet. That provides more benefit for the people, the delegates who are doing it. Just reinforce, not just who they are. Hello, I'm blah blah blah. Give them more meat than that. Watch out for new people coming in. If the session is at the first part of the day, you probably get 1 or 2 people coming in who've missed the start but then walk into the room, and you need to kind of involve them in the session as well. You have to be the puppet master a little bit. If you see somebody by themselves over there and another person over there, say, oh, why don't you talk to that person and kind of get them together. And the last one I do, I sometimes, if there's a few people by themselves, I say, look, if you can't find somebody by themselves to talk to, break into a conversation of 2 other people. Go on, have a threesome. You know you want to do it. Something like that. Gets a bit of a laugh and just tells them it's a bit freeform. It's a networking session, so form a clump if you need to. All right, so that's how we run it. But the important bit is coming. How do we finish the session up? Now, a couple of important points about wrapping up a speed networking session. Firstly, it takes longer than you think. Because you've enthused these people, they've been swapping cards, they've been hearing about opportunities, they're excited, they want to keep talking. So to settle them back down again, get them seated again, takes longer than you think, especially the first time you run it. I usually leave myself at least 3 or 4 minutes to get people back down before you can move on with the rest of the day. I've got a few things that I use. If you have the Expert MC Toolkit and Resource Manual, look up the interrupt technique. That's a really nice way of getting them, oh, what's happening, and they'll stop talking and listen. Also the use of important words, which is explained in the book as well. I sometimes subtly remind them we have a keynote speaker coming up and we don't want to cut into their time, so they see the benefit of getting back. And another one I sometimes use is, we've had some people arrive during the session, they'll be looking for somewhere to sit. If you don't return to your seat now, you might find somebody sitting in it. So those things combine to get them settled down. Now, 2 more things that I always try and do. I always congratulate them for getting into the activity and B, helping me progress through and sitting back down again, helping us keep on time. Now, this positive reinforcement will work through for the rest of your conference or event. So it's a nice way to do some positive reinforcement to get those people to help you. The other thing I always like to do is encourage them to continue the speed networking. So just because you've talked to strangers for the last 20 minutes doesn't mean you don't need to talk to anyone else for the rest of the conference. Please feel free to introduce yourself to anybody who is here. And that works nicely to get them all chatting, and the clients love that, and the delegates who want to network like that as well. It gives them permission to do it. Oh, one more thing. The timing is flexible. This is one of the beauties of speed networking. The timing is flexible. You can shorten it down if you need to. If you started late, you can just shorten it down. You're not locked in. You can also lengthen it. If your next event is running late, the speaker's not there, for instance, the CEO has to have an important phone call, you can lengthen it for a little bit of time. And also, it's great filler material. So write it down in your resource book. Filler material. You suddenly got to fill in 15 minutes. We'll do some speed networking and you can go straight into it. So there we go. I hope you found something useful in this little video. Please, if you've liked any of it, click the like button, which will help us, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any further episodes that are coming up. We've got a few more planned at this moment. And also, if you need further information, come and join us at expertmc.com, where you can find lots more videos and lots more resources that you can download. It's been great to chat to you. My name's Timothy Hyde. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.